Yeah.
I can undo it now, right? Can I just pause it?
Zoom.
There it
Okay.
is.
Hello, everyone. This is Missy. I'm Missy Kaiser, and I'm introducing you to Susan Conn-Hood, who is going to do a presentation for us tonight. So here you go, Susan.
Thank you, Missy. Hi, everybody. Susan Conn-Hood here with Juice Plus. And I have been with the Juice Plus company for 15 years. And this was kind of a little catch-all that I like to use, but that I partnered with the Juice Plus company over 15 years ago. They found a way to put raw fruit and veggie powders into capsules and chewables. And kids get it for free. Today, it's the largest selling and most thoroughly researched nutritional product in the world. I love sharing the nutritional information and have helped hundreds of people to have healthier lives. And I share right alongside my already very busy life, creating another source of income. So that's a little bit about me. And currently in the Juice Plus business, I have with my team, we have a total of 35 partners, and I personally have over 153 customers. So after 15 years, I like to think that maybe I've been doing something right. So this evening, we're going to talk a little bit about lunch and learns. And for those of you that aren't familiar, a lunch and learn is an opportunity to go into an office, a professional office, and present our Juice Plus business and products to people that are in an office, meaning that if you've got, I've done small presentations for an office of 3. I've done larger presentations at Keller Williams for over 15 people. And I have done a number of presentations where you have any variety of people in between there. And you say to yourself, well, how do we do that? Well, just so you know, I've been with our chamber as a business ambassador for over 12 years. So what happens, we have 2 opportunities to meet with people every single month. We have a before business on a Friday morning, and then we also have a business after hours at the end of the month. So my goal when I go is to have my business cards in my hot little hand, and I like to approach at least 5 new people I haven't really talked to. Sure, I'll chat with the ones that I know, because that's, first and foremost what you want to do. But I'll approach 5 new people and I will exchange business cards with them. And after I get home, I pull those business cards out and I'll call them and I'll say, just out of curiosity, Susan Conn-Hood, we met at the chamber the other evening. Is this a good moment to talk? And of course, they're 9 times out of 10, they're always available to talk, because everybody wants to share what they do with you and everybody else. Everybody's looking to have business contacts, and hopefully in their mind and in yours, it's an opportunity for you to share your business and products with them, and then they can do the same with you. So that's really the whole focus of doing networking. And I always ask, do you have an ongoing health-focused lunch and learn program for you and your office staff? And then I'll pause and wait and wait and wait a little longer because there are a lot of businesses that don't offer that kind of education to their staff. And after I ask that question, I'll always ask, are you open to learning more? And many people are very open. They go, oh yeah, well, we've never had anything like that. Or, gee, that sounds interesting. How does that work? And I'll have my calendar pulled up and I'll say, well, for example, next month, I'll say I have 3 different dates that I can present for a lunchtime. And let's see if one of those can work. It's very simple. I tell them I'll come to your office. What I do is provide a fruit and veggie tray. And usually that comes with hummus. And I like to bring gluten-free crackers just because of all the talk about gluten. And I have gone ahead and gone to Subway, and I've actually picked up, custom ordered one of those big sandwiches and cut it into pieces and brought it into the office as well. So you're not looking to spend a fortune on lunch. And most people, because they either brown bag or go out for lunch, many of them don't have the opportunity to have a fruit and veggie tray to pick over and enjoy. So that's what I offer. And we pick the date that I can come and I schedule it. I tell them it's going to be about a 20-minute presentation and I'll leave 10 minutes at the end for Q&A. Now, if I stay longer than that 30 minutes, it's because you are asking me more questions and are curious about what I'm speaking about. So I leave it up to them. I said, we can book it for 30 minutes, but just know if there's a lot more questions, it could become longer than that. And I have downloaded the PowerPoint that Reagan had used just a couple of weeks ago. And I put that on my tablet. And the reason I did that is because with my tablet, I don't have to have a Wi-Fi connection to show that on my computer. And if I bring my computer, again, it's plugging it in, it's finding out about their Wi-Fi, but with my tablet, it's much smaller and it's just easier to use. So I don't have to go through that. And oh, by the way, I always show up at least 15 minutes early, because that way, if there's any last minute conversation change, we have to move rooms, something like that, you're not arriving. If it's scheduled for high noon, you're not arriving at high noon and spending 5 or 10 minutes to get organized. This way you're organized and you're prepped and you're ready to go right on the money. As Kristen knows, we like to be prompt and on time. So that really is what I do. And I'll go through the presentation, the slides. Does everybody remember when Reagan put that up before? Yes, you can nod if you remember that she put that up before. Okay. So as I go through that, I'll pause, I'll ask questions, or I'll just, as Judy Lopez and I know, you just want to reconfirm with people, how many of you know what a serving is? And you'll ask those kinds of questions. And not everybody even knows that. That's okay. You're there to help educate. And remember, you're not there to sell, you're there to educate. And then you present the whole program. I bring samples, I bring all my capsule bottles, I bring the shake, and I also bring the chews and bars. And I have all of that to pass around, and people can open the capsule lid, and smell them. They smell really fresh and good. And a lot of times beforehand, I'll bring my own plate, of course, and a knife, and I'll chop up the little bars and have them a little bite-sized pieces with a toothpick, because that's an easier way. And if you have the Juice Plus chew bags as opposed to the individual little serving packets, I usually will bring toothpicks for that too. So you can, just pass that around and let people go ahead and taste everything. I really think that having people smell the product, look at the label, and then while they're looking at the label, you have to be very astute and just say to them, really, do any other products that you're taking have a nutrition facts label? And you can always point that out to them. And do your other products contain the plus, the additional plant-based materials and nutrients that we put into our Juice Plus? And do your products or something you're taking have over 40 research papers to support their claims? Do they have any? And was the research done on the product itself or just parts of it? And was the research done on animals, on people, or in a petri dish? So you can really take that education and ask a little more of those questions and have people really think about what they're taking. Personally speaking, I'm just going to pull up one other educational sheet here. If you ask if people take supplements, usually everybody in the room will raise their hand, because I think just about everybody usually does. So I asked them also, do you think that if you're eating a huge amount of raw fruits and vegetables daily, that you would need to even take those multivitamins? And then you wait, you pause, you let people think about that for a little bit. And then you ask them, do you know how many nutrients that science can put into vitamins? Well, there's only about 13. And did you know that plants have over 25,000 nutrients in them, as well as live enzymes? And in our Juice Plus, it's like consuming the entire orange, peel and all. How many of you eat the peel of your orange? And that's always an interesting question to ask people around the room, because who does that? Nobody. So, and then I'll ask, do you know anyone else that takes supplements? Your friends, your family, etc. And supplements cost about 62 billion per year. And how would you like to earn a percentage of the amount people are spending on supplements? And the business itself, Juice Plus, it may or may not be for you, but I just want to make sure that people know that this is an option. And can you imagine how great you would feel if you can share and also inspire healthy living around the world and earn an extra income as well? And this is Juice Plus is superior to what's in any store. It's backed by published clinical research. It's super safe, and it's fruits and vegetables, which are the foundation of great health. So those are the kinds of things that I ask at these lunch and learns. And with the PowerPoint, you can pause it, you can ask those questions, you can invite more participation from the people in the room. And I'm just curious, does anybody have a question right now? It's a quiet crowd. Okay.
I actually do. This is Jennifer.
Okay. Hey, Jen.
Hey. So when you ask the question, do you have an ongoing program? So then do they ever follow up with you? Like, okay, so like what ongoing support are you going to provide? Like, I mean, I'm just thinking that in my own head, right? Like as an ongoing, do you have an ongoing health program for your employees? So how do you explain and what do you do for your ongoing health program?
Well, really, it's just an ongoing health-focused lunch and learn program is really what I'm asking. Hang on. Alexa, off. She started talking all by herself and started
So do
playing
you go
music.
back in then? My question is, do you go back in on a regular basis with new education and new learning? That's what I'm asking.
Yes, if they're open to that, I'm happy to provide it. I also, if I may, what I've also created and done is myths about a plant-based eating plan. And I do a whole presentation about that as well, if they're open and interested in something like that. And when I say an ongoing plan, I mean, a lot of businesses at one point, and maybe not so much anymore, but a lot of businesses were trying to engage in a regular fitness program because there was a lot of research that showed if your people participated in an ongoing program that they could lower their cholesterol or, just not get sick as often too. And that's the other thing that I share about our Juice Plus. I go, some offices like to share Juice Plus with all their employees because it's, we've been clinically proven to strengthen the immune system. And what if you had less sick days for your participants? What if you had less sick days for their children? So they're not missing work in order to take care of a sick child. So you can weave that into your conversation as well, because we can use our children's health study with education about that to show that there is an opportunity to have less absenteeism in your office too by sharing Juice Plus and having people taking it.
Can I add something to that, Sue?
Please, Judy, share.
So when I was working childcare conferences, they suggested that these people who run the childcare businesses had a monthly meeting. So a good question too that I was asking was, do you have a monthly meeting and do you ever invite guests to speak at your meeting? So that always was a nice way to get in the door too.
Oh, excellent, Judy. Oh, I love that too. And I'm not saying, mine is the only way. Judy and I both have been doing Tower Garden presentations at the schools. We reach out to the schools and ask them if they're interested in a Tower Garden presentation. So Judy and I have been able to go in and provide a whole presentation on the Tower Garden. And we've done quite well with that, Judy. Collectively, we've sold over 25 Tower Gardens, and a lot of them are to schools or senior centers, or even for restaurants that are interested. So that's another opportunity to expand, not just the capsules, but also you could include the Tower Garden presentations as well.
Hey, Susan,
Question.
Jaquita asked
Missy.
the question or she said she loves the questions, and do you have them written out? And so to add on to that, do you have like an outline of what you do that you can maybe post for us? Or the
Sure,
questions?
I could certainly do that. I do. I can absolutely do that as well. Sorry, I couldn't see your little message there, Jaquita. Love your name, by the way, Jaquita. And I didn't have
Susan.
And also the script, Susan.
my script. Sure.
Yeah.
I have it all written down, but that's the way I am. I write everything on pen and paper.
I think that's what I was just thinking, an outline or the script or the questions or whatever, any of those.
And if people are a little bit more curious about it, I mean, you can certainly, when you're doing your presentation, you're holding up the capsules and so on. You can start with, and we've learned this, everybody, and you may or may not want to ask about the business in front of the owner of the business at the time, but you certainly are interested in more information about the product, and you can then approach the business owner afterwards, or quietly, or at another time, and just say, do you think, with as many people that might be interested in purchasing Juice Plus, are you at all interested in learning more about the business side so that we could set you up? And that's when, Bobby, we talked earlier, that's when you can go right into talking more about our wellness, being a wellness coordinator for a business. And that, everybody, is a very excellent way to work. It enabled me to have a lot of customers, because you work as a wellness coordinator with an owner of a business. I'll say, for example, a chiropractor that I have been working with. When they would do an intake in the office, the chiropractor on their list of questions would ask, how many servings of fruits and vegetables do you take every day? Because that is also part of your health. That's really important. And if people wrote, 1 or 2 or none, then that was a great opportunity to also talk to that person afterwards and just say, are you interested in learning more about why fruits and vegetables are so important in the diet? So you can work as a wellness coordinator with a business as well. I don't know, Sherry Dye, have you ever worked with businesses that way? You've been with the company a long time as well.
Yes, I have been a wellness coordinator actually years ago. I haven't done it recently, but I was. It was with my sponsor, who doesn't really work the business anymore. But she was a chiropractor, and yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. That was way back when. It's a much more easy program to work with now.
I think so too. And I know Karen's a nurse, and Jen, you're in the dental field. And those are just some of the other opportunities where it is another way to create a stream of income, not only for the person, the business person you're working with, but it also is another opportunity for both of you to make some extra income and move that person up our little step ladder so that everybody's making the most with what they're trying to share. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, so questions? Shelley, do you have a question? Way over there, you're a medical doctor too, aren't you, Shelley? Oh, you got to unmute.
Yes, I am. I was just listing my places to do lunch and learn.
Oh, good girl. Okay.
I actually do have a question. I'm in Texas, and I'm pretty sure Sherry is too. I know in Texas, whenever you say you're doing a lunch and learn, they expect like a lunch, not just nibbles. Have you come across that being an issue?
I never have because I set the parameter right up front. I'll even say,
Okay.
I can appreciate that, lunches could be this, but let me tell you how I'm going to offer you a healthy lunch today in place of. And I've even had some groups brown bag their own lunch, and then I'm just providing that fruit and veggie tray also in addition to. And I've never
Okay.
had, I think if you can set that up in front, if they want to do ribs or barbecue or something, you say that's on you. But here's what I'm going to provide, because that's not something in my world that's super healthy. And plus, that's really messy. Ever talk to someone who's trying to eat fried chicken or ribs, stuff everywhere?
And I've done some lunch and learns and different, I'm a dentist, Shelley, and I've gone into like, oral surgeon offices or just like other specialists. And I have actually made like a huge pot of soup and I've taken that in for them. I will do like an Asian chicken salad that, and then bring in maybe just a side of like naan bread or something like that. And then I've made like the peanut butter protein bars. So I just like to cook. So sometimes I just do that because I mean, yeah, I could make it easier, but that's not, you could do, like I said, you could do, especially in the winter cooler times, although you're in Texas, but I mean, I know it gets cool there. So like just a big pot of soup, right? I mean, it's kind of as long as it doesn't slosh around, it's not that's worked well. And like I said, I kind of default to the Asian chicken salad because I can make a big amount of it. And it's kind of easy for people. And you
Yeah.
can throw chicken in there, just to kind of, yeah. So that's something I've done.
I love that. I love that. And if you pull greens from your tower garden and include those too, if you do a big salad even, then there you have even more conversation because people are smelling the salad going, my, this is wonderful. And you go, yes, well, in our presentation, we're going to talk about those tower gardens and how you can grow your own. So you can just keep building on your presentation. Yes, Shelley, did you have another question or no? Okay. Anybody else? Curious. Thanks, Jen, by the way. Really appreciate that follow-up.
Along on that same line, have you ever done just the shakes as a part of the lunch, or is that too cumbersome?
Well, if you can bring I have a Ninja, and I could probably bring that and haul that along. Yeah. I know that at booths, Judy, when we've done booths in the past, we've brought pre-made shake and brought it along and had it, in little tiny Dixie cups to offer people if they're willing to give you their name and phone number so you have a way to follow up with them after. You got to get something out of it all the time. You've got to, when you do booths, everybody, it's the same thing. Al and I know this well because we've worked at a couple of places together. He says, oh, we could just hand out shoes. No. If they want to try to choose, they have to give you a name and a phone number and some way to reach out to them so that after you hand them the shoe, you have a way to follow up. Otherwise, you're just like, here's something, you're just throwing it all away and not getting an opportunity to follow up. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. You're spending money for your product and you're sharing it. So you do want to get some return on that as well. And there's nothing wrong with asking people for their name and their phone number so you can follow up. Because it becomes an opportunity for a coffee date later. And you say, well, if you love the shake, let's talk more about our other product line that we have. It's small, but it's very focused. And I'm sure you'll be interested in learning more. So, yeah.
And if I could add, like in a lunch and learn, you might want to have a sign-in sheet so that everybody can put their name and phone number. And you'd have those areas for them to do that. Maybe a name, phone number, email. Yeah.
Judy's the best, you guys. Thanks, Judy. She's always thinking that way. And I have the old, pen and paper routine, so you can bring that in and use that. So that works well too. Like an attendance sheet, right? People, oh, are you a new attendee to the Lunch and Learn today? Okay, can you please give us your name and phone number? And people are used to filling stuff like that. You're absolutely right, Judy. And they don't think twice about it. They just go ahead and fill it out, because it gives you more opportunity to follow up. And if the office, Sorry. go
Well, I
ahead.
was just gonna say, or even the interest sheets that we use for booths. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Maybe I can
Little ones
find
that we have
that
now.
and I can post it
Yeah.
in the team page.
Okay, yeah, Judy will do that. Chiquita, have you ever done a booth yet, for example? Has anybody else done a booth out there, by the way? Missy?
I have one
Al, I
scheduled.
know you. And Jen? Oh,
Yeah, I
good,
do.
excellent, okay.
We've done booths at
Yay,
colleges for different things, yeah.
yeah, and if I may, booths are making a huge comeback now, everybody. They're back. People are looking for places to go. You can do, I found you can do health fairs. That's what Judy and I got very involved with, a lot of health fairs. And we were always taking an opportunity every week or twice a month, besides salad jar parties at my home. But if you have a booth out there, the sky's the limit. I mean, you can talk to as many people as you want to. And what I've learned with booths, if I may, instead of staying behind the table, come out in front of it and stand there, and you just talk to people as they come by and just say, have you ever heard of Juice Plus? And Al and I had the joy at our booths about, oh, is that balance of nature stuff? So then it gave Al and I a great opportunity to compare the two side by side and educate people. So that, that's always helpful too, because you are going to get those kinds of questions. Always you will.
Well, we did our health fair every year for a while until COVID, and we always
Yes.
took our tower garden, and so we'd set up our tower garden in there, and with those lights, it was an instant draw. People came because it was so pretty and all that green and that beautiful light. People just came. It was like moths to a flame. It worked well.
Oh, I love that, Missy. And it's time to bring out the tower gardens again too, everybody. It's fall. You're growing. If you have a ground garden outside, for most of you in the cold area, you're not going to be able to continue those through the winter. So you could have your tower garden inside. And Al, did you have a question? Al?
No, I didn't have a question. I just want to say that the last time we did a booth, or the time before that, I had
Right.
gone past somebody else's booth and noticed that they had this real neat PowerPoint going, all continuous program going with all the stuff that they had with some background music. And I looked at it, I said, that looks pretty neat. And that day when I went home, I made one. And then the next time we did did the booth, I set my laptop out there, started the thing going. It just went all the time we were there. And actually, people's eyes are drawn to something that's moving on a screen. They stop and look, and you've got an opportunity to snatch them right there.
And snatch them. Well, as long as you're out in front of the table too, that's the key I've learned with booths. Don't hide behind the table, get out in front of it, and corral them as they come by. That's right. So I'm curious, it's just about 6 o'clock here, or maybe a few minutes after. Are there any other questions? Ellen, got a question there for me, Ellen? You've done it all, my friend. So do you have a question?
Yes, and this is such a good training and great ideas. So I just want to give you like a, go get it. That was great.
Thank you. Aren't you
me.
kind? And if I may, there's Karen. I see Karen. Oh, sorry, Ellen, go ahead. What?
No, I was just going to say I'm on the golf course. So
there you go, Bobby.
keeping our friend Patty's memory alive here.
Aw, that's sweet. That's so sweet. And where's Karen? I see Karen, are you actually there, or are you able to talk?
I'm here.
There you are. Have you ever, along with Shelley, who's a doctor, but you being a busy nurse, is that ever an opportunity that you've been able to try at the hospital? I don't know how that might work, but I'm curious.
I have wanted to do it I work at the medical center now. I was never able to do it at the hospital or when I worked at hospice. And our director of nursing just today at our staff meeting mentioned that they're getting a lot of sick calls already with employees. And I was
Yeah.
thinking about how to reach out to her and say, hey, what do you think about a lunch and learn? Because even my own team, even though we all work remotely, my own team has already had sick calls already this year.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful opportunity, and I'll put some verbiage up for everybody on our Facebook page too. And if you have any other questions, we could put them, I don't know, Missy, can we put them up on the page? Judy, they can do that too, right? Put questions up on our page, our
Yeah.
Facebook page, our team page, right?
Yes.
I think our
And
team
Sue,
Facebook page is the best place.
I hear my name. Karen?
oh, it's Karen. I was just going to mention our church does a yearly fall festival, and I typically do a booth at that every year. And
Excellent.
I've signed up to do it this year. It'll be in October.
Now, if you're as brave as Missy, I don't know how you haul your tower garden there, but boy, if you could do that, that's very impressive to do as well.
It's too cold because it's outside, and it's already
Wow.
in the 40s at my house today. It's chilly.
So Judy, should we tell her it's only, 104 here today?
Yeah,
my
something like that.
And
I've had a
Al,
long
Justin.
sleeve shirt and a sweater on most of the day.
It's cooled off now,
Ah,
though.
Yeah,
104 is cool.
Yeah, for us folks in the desert, 104 is cool. You're right.
Oh
So
my gosh,
I'm
you
going
poor
to.
guys.
Are you kidding me? I love it. I'd rather that than 46. No offense. So if there aren't any other questions, I don't want to keep everybody later unless
I'm
you
going to
want to
stop
ask.
the recording and then we can go on.
Okay, perfect.
If
Jaquita,
anybody
you're very
wants
welcome.
to,